Without the JLF dot in front of my name here, you'd be visiting a site mainly about navigation topics, in general an engineering site. But with my initials as shown, you're here, and if you click on the first link, the cover of this little book will appear. Surrounded by text explaining some of the background, your first question might be, what? The short answer is right below the question. If we look at the wide range of knowledge required to understand this subject, you can see above the ground there's a tree, and above that there's the blue sky, and higher than that the clouds, and above that some thin air, and above that, if we could keep going eventually, I don't know. In fact, I don't even know what all is in that blue sky, or in fact, not even that little tree. When it comes to the subject I want to talk about here, I'm all the way down there at the ground level. On this topic, my credentials are 0. A study in contradictions, lacking fervor. No authority whatsoever, that's me. I'm not even a good role model. Oh, I don't cheat my clients, and I don't cheat on my wife, and I haven't robbed any banks lately. But those are minimum requirements. I'm no model. So then you might say, why bother? Okay, fair question. After identifying a lot of things I cannot be, let me mention one thing I can be: a credible witness. For one step in that direction, let me assure you, any number of times, in many ways, my life could have easily collapsed into a pile of dust. But that didn't happen. More about that later. I don't want to get ahead of myself. The immediate question was, why would a guy with no credentials try to instruct anyone? The answer is as important as anything I've said so far. Millions of people tune out when they hear any hint about Christianity or any organized religion. There are reasons for that, and some of those reasons seem perfectly logical. One of the most common reasons, here I'll call it the blue sky image, the ideas are too lofty. The language sounds strange. Another reason, also very common, the tone is threatening or preachy or both. You're bad and you must pay the price, etc. You won't find any of that in what I'm talking about. We cannot legitimately presume to judge others. As I mentioned in the preface to my little book, the expert is the inventor of Christianity, not anyone who misquotes him. In a few minutes I'll bring up more reasons, but before getting into the more difficult ones, I want to interrupt my own train of thought to explain something fundamental. Among the millions who tune out are many, many responsible, down-to-earth, hard-working, practical-minded people, the kind you would naturally want to have as friends. Those practical ones are exactly the ones I'm trying to reach. This isn't about some far-out spaceship you'll never see during your lifetime. This is practical. There are practical advantages, big advantages, if you'll give Christianity a chance to work in your life. Saying that now is intended to foreshadow the main thrust of my message. Okay, back to the reasons why so many resist the message. This is the more difficult part. More reasons why so many turn away. Horrible scandals, outrageous abuse, big money, preachers asking for million-dollar donations. Let me say first, you cannot send me donations. I won't tell you my address. I'm not selling books either. I gave away almost all of the ones about Christianity. If you want to donate something, donate to your favorite charity. If you don't have a favorite, maybe you could donate to Paralyzed Veterans of America or Food for the Poor. Both of those will show up from a search on the internet. At any rate, donate to a charity without me knowing anything about it. Now, with that cleared up, I'll raise another topic. Horrible deeds carried out in the name of religion. Can we estimate that 99% of people everywhere realize how dead wrong that is? Then can we agree that's obvious to that 99%? And without wasting any time arguing with the other 1%, can we move to the next topic? That topic is another big one. Crimes committed against innocent children. Those crimes are so outrageous that we can't even find words to describe how outrageous they are. And it happened among people with ecclesiastical authority. The damage has been astronomical. So, if someone points to that as the reason for condemning religion, what's the answer? We're not able to undo the damage, nor the damage from other sources either. Some of those crimes were also committed by teachers. Does that mean most teachers are monsters? Another example. Remember the Oklahoma City bomb in 1995? That was done by a veteran. McVeigh was a veteran of Desert Storm. Does that mean we should distrust veterans? Of course not. Even as kids, most of us learned the actions of a small percentage don't represent a group of larger size. There's no shortage of difficult topics. Here's another one. How many of us know someone who is angry at God because of something that happened? In a lot of cases, it happened a long time ago, so that feeling has been brewing and smoldering for years. In some cases, either a terrible injustice was committed or an event occurred that seems random or without any purpose. An accident, a deadly disease, a robbery, a ruined reputation or a ruined career, a broken relationship, loss of a loved one. The list of possible calamities goes on and on. For any of those, it won't surprise anyone to hear the answer can vary all over the map. Everyone is different. So I don't know what the answer is. But I do know what the answer isn't. It isn't any one of these 3 Ds and a B. If our defense mechanisms lead us to try pretending something didn't happen, or to put off thinking about it, like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, it doesn't take long to realize how futile that is. Unfortunately, a bitter reaction might not go away as fast. The same can be said about despair. One explanation why I can't give answers about that is that the answer would be different for different cases. Another explanation is, as I mentioned before, this is just a basic discussion. You didn't learn calculus in kindergarten, and you won't learn advanced spiritual ideas from a guy who's just on square one. The only people I'm qualified to inform are the ones not even on square one yet. To any listener in that category, let me assure you, you are more important than you realize. For one thing, just think of how many of you there are. The good news is, even if overcoming your acceptance has been put off for years, it's never too late to catch this train. The rewards start to build from that point. In the little time remaining for this opening excerpt, I won't be able to explain all that. A lot has to be left for possible later installments. Before closing this first one, though, let me try to enlist your help. All the Earth's troubles didn't just appear out of thin air. There are some really bad troublemakers out there. The power to overcome them won't just appear out of thin air either. You can't make the trouble disappear, but you are able to control your reaction. If our reaction amounts to nothing or worse, then by default, we donate victory to the bad guys. Is that what we want? Wouldn't it be better to contribute toward preventing continuation of events that we don't want? I have to admit There's no guarantee about how your effort will be rewarded, but we do know two things. You won't contribute toward better progress if you don't make the effort. And finally, something, big or small, but something good will happen somewhere if you do make the effort.